Hello everybody, it's Linda and I'm back with another tutorial for you. I just wanted to share with you how I decorate my glassine bags, and I think these are so much fun to make, and it's a great way when you're making a mini. If you want to create either a pocket or you want to create an envelope and you've got some scraps and stuff, then this is a fun thing to do with those scraps. So, I've recently made a mini album, and I've got some leftover die cuts and papers. And I just thought, okay, I'll just make a couple of inserts for my mini with some of my leftovers, and I'll do a tutorial at the same time. What I think is most important for you to keep sort of in the back of your mind when you make these, to give them sort of like a finished look. And what has really meant a lot to me when I create my pages for my albums or cards or whatever was when I learned that it's really a great thing to anchor your embellishments. Was when I took a class with Julie Pritchard, I think she's called, and it was an online class, and she was teaching us about the design principles. And one of her design principles, and it's probably common knowledge to most people, but I had never sort of been told this before, so I'm going to share it with you, and those of you who haven't heard it before I'm sure will benefit from it. So the thing is, you always, like, most of you have like nice die cuts or embellishments, and you fussy cut stuff, and you want to decorate your pages or your envelopes or whatever. And if you don't anchor it to either the bottom of the page or the side of the page or the top of the page, it will just look like it's just floating in thin air or flying on the page. And if it's a bird or a butterfly, then good. If it's a flower, well, unless you've got somebody throwing flowers into the air or something, then if it's a flower, it needs to sort of grow from somewhere. And most things need to do that. Like this bike, if I had put this bike up here, and you would have seen like the wheel was just floating in thin air or something. I don't know. I just think our brains just work so that they think, oh, but that's not logical. And unless it's a flying bike or something. So you need to anchor it, and to anchor it, you need to sort of, with something, either just like this. You see the stem goes all the way down here. And this that goes on top of the flower here, it's anchored to the side. You can see it goes all the way out here, so it's not floating. And this here is being anchored by this flower. This flower is anchored to this, and this is anchored to the side. Okay? So this is anchored. And this piece here is anchored. This is anchored, goes all the way over here. These are anchored. So you see, it just gives a finished look and a balanced look, I think. And on the back here, you'll see the same thing. This is anchored by the feather, and this is anchored down here by this, and these are anchored. This is anchored. This goes all the way up here. These are anchored, 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 anchored. This is anchored by this strip here. So that's what you need to keep in mind. The rest, just sort of, and of course this as well. If you don't like the look, if you like things floating, good for you. Make them float. If you've had a problem with your designs and you think that there's something missing, I mean, there's a lot of nice embellishment, but it just doesn't look right, maybe this is what's going to help you make things look right. At least it helped me make things look right for me. So keep that in the back of your mind, in the back of your head when you start this, because all the rest of it is just fun and play, and you just go along with what you feel like, and you use what you have. And if you don't have this glue, use that glue. If you don't have this stamp, use that stamp. Don't limit yourself. Just have fun, enjoy yourself, and create. And this is just meant as an example. This fits my album. Your album will be different. You need to make something that fits your album. And to make that, the only thing, like I said, to just make it, if you want to make get this look, if you need this look, you just need to anchor your stuff. That's all. The rest is up to you. Stamp, ink, paint, play, do what you want, have fun, and hopefully you'll enjoy watching me create these. So let's start. So what you need: some kind of an envelope or glassine bag. I've used bag. To color these, I used, for this one, Lindy's Starburst spray, and I used the brown tones that you can see here. It's just my vintage photo distress ink, and you can see some green here and here, and that green color is my crushed olive distress ink. Of course, if you don't have distress inks, you can use any type of ink that will give color. And if you don't have inks, you can use acrylic paints. Just water them down and paint them on, or just brush them on or spray them on, whatever you prefer. Just play with that. And for this, I used the same vintage photo, used crushed olive, and that's the color. What you see here and here in the background here is just masking tape. So if you want to sort of repeat what I have done, you need some masking tape, Japanese masking tape. If you don't have Japanese masking tape, you can use or make your own masking tape. There are tutorials on YouTube on how to do that, and I'll see if I can look one up and link to it in the description box. But I've bought these, and I bought them off Etsy sellers. I love the Etsy seller pretty tape because the tape that you get from that seller is really good quality, and it sticks so well to whatever background you use it on. And I've used it a lot in my mini albums and stuff. So you'll also need stamps to make this. Here, this is a background stamp here. This stamp is a Kaisercraft stamp. And as you can see, it's a collage stamp, so it sort of gives a lot of interest, and you only have to stamp once. So perfect for this. And I've also used some die cuts from my paper collection. And these are Brenda Walton die cuts. And I have like several leftovers. And if you have a project and you have die cuts to go with the paper line, just use some of the die cuts, or just do some fussy cutting from the paper and add it to your glassine bags or envelopes. I also used some strips of paper. This is a strip of paper. I just tore paper. So you can use your scrap paper to just do a bit of extra, give it an extra touch. This is also scrap paper. This is regular paper that I just cut and inked and used Lindy's. And this is an S10 flower from I Am Roses. So if you have more of the flowers that you used for your project, you can always use them to embellish these bags. I also used a feather here. And this is a die cut egg. And here is one of the die cuts, more masking tape. And I used a scrap piece of lace that I had. Here and here and there. Here it's the same kind of lace around. So that's that.